Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Health and Wealth Podcast with your hosts, Tim and Carter.
What's trending in Richers? Carter Wilcoxon, founder of CSI Financial Group here, with my co-host and former wealth advisor, Tim James, founder of
ChemicalFreeBody.com and your new health advisor. This is the show where we reveal the connection between physical and financial abundance.
Hey, Enrichers, welcome back to the Health and Wealth Podcast Show. We are very excited about our guest today, calling in and coming in from the other side of the United States, from where we are at. But I'm joined here by my co-host, Mr. Chemical Free Body himself, Mr. Tim James. How are you, my man?
Hey, man, I'm doing really good. I just got done doing another show on my podcast, and we went deep into parasites. Oh, my God. When that one comes out, you guys got to go listen to it. It'll be in the 80 range somewhere in the episode range, but it'll be with a Dr. Jason Dean. And I got freaked the hell out about parasites in 2011 when I was first at the Hippocrates Health Institute. And they said, yeah, 50% of people have them. And I saw worms coming out of people's pores. I saw a parasite crawling out of a lady's eye. We saw them on film. And, I want to get that crap out of me. But it's been a while. It's been a couple of years. And I like to do the parasite protocols once a year. And I haven't done one in a while. So I'm going to go try this new one and experience it. So let's see if I have a clump of parasites come out of me. If so, I'll let you all know all about it.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I can't wait to hear that. And by the way, I got your email, and obviously I'm a subscriber to the Health Hero Show. Little shameless plug there for you. You're welcome. But I noticed that you had Miss Oregon on very recently on a podcast. I don't know how long ago you recorded that, but sounds like she's got an interesting story about her husband's brain cancer.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable. I actually met Tiffany years ago when she still is a real estate agent. I was a mortgage broker. It was a long time ago. And she was a hustler, man. She actually started her real estate career. She put on roller skates and short shorts and went door to door roller skating. She was called the roller skating realtor. And she boom, she's handing out cards with a little magnetic thing. And people are like throwing up on their thing. And she's like, hey, you want to sell your house? You want to sell your house? Want to sell your house? And boom, yeah, I do. It's like, come on in, and the guys were like, come on in, you can sell my house. And she did a really good job, and she's a professional, and she's a top real estate agent, been doing it for years now. She doesn't have to roller skate anymore, but she could. She's really healthy. And when I got into the health thing, she just embraced everything and got super healthy and got off all the addictive things, hard coffee that she's pounding all the time like I used to. And she, I think this was her fourth try at Mrs. Oregon, and she knocked it out of the park on her fourth attempt, and now she's going on for Mrs. USA and hopefully Mrs. World, which would be cool. And but in the middle of all this, her husband got brain cancer. Wow! So had to do a couple of surgeries. You just have to listen to the episode. It kind of pulls the curtain back on what's going on in our medical industry as far as cancer and what's happening and it's just very eye-opening. So anybody that's dealing with cancer or has had it or is contemplating surgery and stuff, they should check it out.
Cool. Awesome. Well, as I said at the top of the show, Enrichers, I'm very excited about our guest today, Mr. Ayinde Holliman of Holliman Financial, calling in from North Carolina, I believe. Is that right, Ayinde?
Yes, it is. Charlotte
area. That's awesome. So hopefully you can hear us okay. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty great. Matter of fact, I was just speaking about what you talk about with the parasites, not people, but actually parasites. I actually went ahead. I saw the episode of Monsters Inside Me recently, and it makes it seem scary. You have things all around your house and everywhere you go that are possible pathogens and stuff like that. But I mean, the world we live in, you realize that it's just going to be a part of our life and this new normal. So we just have to learn how to just to accept it and figure out ways you're going to, basically don't let it stop you from living your life at the end of the day.
That I couldn't have said that any better. And by the way, it's always been like that. That's nothing new, right? It's nothing new. So, well, hey, Ayinde, I'm really excited that you accepted the invitation to come on and share your story. So the enrichers, as we call our audience, what they really want to do is get a chance to know and better understand, your path, your journey to where you got today. So let's go back, if you don't mind, in time a little bit and talk a little bit about, what brought you into maybe the financial services business. Did you have a mentor that was, that directed you in this direction? Because, not a lot of people decide that they're going to get into the financial services business, I think. But they do want to hear, what led you into the path of Holliman Financial?
All right. I appreciate that. For me, I was always good at sales. I mean, when I was in college, I did Kirby vacuums and I sold cars for a dozen years. Did very well with it, but I was realizing that, in the car business, I was been sales manager, finance manager, done the whole gambit of positions, and realized that no matter whatever I did, I was going to always get to a certain point, and then the very next month I had to start all the way over. So it never was that residual income. So I started thinking about ways like, I'm saying, man, I'm getting in my 30s. I got to find something different to do where I can still make impact in someone's life, but then also make a great living from myself and my family. And that's what led me to financial services. Plus, I got some of the inspiration I had of a client of mine. His name is Gary Everhart. He works for a company called Thrive Financial. I sold him some oddities back when I used to work for Honda. And I was like, man, this guy's really dapper. He just very carefree, always wears flip-flops and doesn't really just lives his life. And they have fun, him and his wife, and they have, I think, two daughters now. But they just get to do whatever they want to do. And I'm like, man, what does he do? And I realized that he was in insurance and financial services. And I realized that's exactly where I wanted to be in that kind of field. And it's not like I wasn't already having these kind of conversations with my family so they can get themselves financially secure, So it's been some of my passion to get in that whole space.
Yeah. So why don't you share with the enrichers a little bit of, where did you grow up? And you talked about your family and everything. The Charlotte, North Carolina area, is that really where, you grew up, or did you end up, transforming your practice and moving there, or, born and raised? Give it a little bit more of that backstory where you're born and
Okay, good.
raised. Yeah.
Now, for me, I actually was born in DC, and then from DC, my father passed away, and then when I was 10 years old, and I wanted to get a different area than DC when it comes to schooling. So I went to at that time I went to a private school that was in Rockville, Maryland. I used to have to drive. I get a bus, an hour, 2 hours for me to get to school every day, but it only went up to middle school. And my teacher, that at that time, she had found this school called Milton Hershey School. It's funded by Hershey's Chocolate because the founder of Hershey's Chocolate, him and his wife couldn't have children, so they founded this school back in 1909.
Yeah.
And with that, they now sponsor for over 100 years. Thousands of kids, they go there. So I went to school in Hershey, Pennsylvania. At the age of 12 up until graduation. And with that as well, it was able to make sure I got a free education to go to school. And I went to North Carolina A&T in Greensboro. And I've been a North Carolinian ever since.
Wow. So while you're at the school, this was basically from 12 to 18 in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So was it just academic? Was there, extracurricular activities? Was there sports programs? Was there, what was school like in this? And you said it was a private school, right?
Yeah, it's a boarding school for I guess it started off as for underprivileged boys. It literally started off as the Hershey Industrial School for wayward boys, something like that. A long time ago. of course, it integrated and diversified, after a number of years. But part of the school was about having skills. So going there, I had actually picked up carpentry. I got my carpenter's license in the state of Pennsylvania before I even graduated. We built 2 homes and sold to the public. So you built up life skills, there. And I made some friends there, that are friends for life. Matter of fact, I had a podcast about a month ago with another lady that I graduated with. She graduated a year before me. And it's been like almost 20 years now since we graduated. And we were talking for like 2 hours before we even started the podcast recording, but just catching up. So it's just people that, is unlike any other place I can think of where you just, every person that you went to school with, in some regard, because you not only share the class, sometimes you share the home with them, and you just saw them all the time over a number of years.
Wow. So from the time you left Hershey, Pennsylvania, and you graduated boarding school, I guess, right? Then you end up from there to North Carolina. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I went to school at North Carolina A&T. And I was started off in industrial engineering, and then I later switched my major to construction management. That's because of the carpentry part of it. But after the downturn in the economy in 2007, 2008, I found a lot of people that I worked with, that were both in engineering and in construction management. They were just finding that they were getting these jobs where they could work one day and then get let go or put on furlough for 6 months, and at the time, I met my wife, and I was thinking about starting a family. So I was like, that's not going to be me. I'm not going to move all around the country and then have a job for 3 to 6 months and be trying to then spend the next half year just trying to find another one. That's not the way I want to live my life. That's at the point where I got in the car business, and made a great living doing it. I made some clients of mine that have been, actually friends, of mine as well as people that I work with. We still talk all the time, but it's just one of those businesses where you work a ton of hours, and it's, a thankless business, as well as it's just, constantly keep churning month after month after month, and next thing you know, you realize years have gone by and you haven't got any further than you were trying to be.
Yeah, it's interesting. Similar kind of backstory for me, right? But I went from graduating high school right into the car business, right? So I remember. So this is back in Kansas City, where most of my formative years are from. A little disappointed last night in my Kansas City Chiefs, by the way, but I digress.
I thought they had that one, man.
You know what? I don't even want to go there. I don't know. We could go on, but my disappointment of what happened last night. Forget about that. But so Kansas City, where I graduated high school, and then someone introduced me to get into, you'd be great in the car business. So I ended up in the car business directly out of high school, and, signing the letters and, send them out to all your, your closest family and friends. And, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And anyway, that was interesting training ground. I definitely learned a lot. I learned a lot about, that's not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, if nothing else. And then, but it is really good to, it's a good skill to learn, that those personality skills and how to manage people and how to, talk the talk and things of that nature and navigate the whole sales process. But, it was, much like you, kind of sort of the same thing. Is not something I want to do with the rest of my life.
Exactly. I've had guys I work with here, I loved it at the time when I did it, but I know I've had several guys I work with, and had a high divorce rate. I'm like, these guys here, chain smoking,
Yeah.
cursing, upset all the time, made great money, but they just weren't happy. It's just, they were.
Well, how can you be happy when you have to work bell to bell, ding to dong? I actually did a car sales for 2.5 years. It's great when you're single, right? And then I guess it also depends. It depends on the organization too, because some of them have like, shorter hours and they do that kind of stuff. But some of the owners are just open from like 8 a.m. until the last client leaves. It's 9 o'clock at night they close. But if somebody comes in at 8:59, you could be there till midnight. Yeah, and then you got to get up and you got to be at the office again.
There at midnight of New Year's Eve. I was there past midnight delivering a car.
Yeah, they don't care. The owner wants that money, right? Get that car. They're going to go somewhere else and buy it, right? So people are ready to get a car. They're ready to get a car. Well, hey, dude, your backstory is pretty cool. I like that we all sold cars, so we're all car hacks. And I will say that there are some car salesmen out there that are very professional. They do a good job. It's a great way to make a living. And if you do a good job for people, they'll definitely come back, because there is a sea of crazy guys out there selling cars, doing a lot of crazy things that may or may not have your best interest in heart. But with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, I'd like to get into like Ayinde and his relationship with CSI Financial. And I'd like to find out a little bit more about what you think, your opinion on the rollout of Epic Services Company. We'll be right back.
Are you concerned about being able to get all of your affairs in order during this trying time? Are you troubled by what would happen if you ever became incapacitated? Maybe you've been procrastinating in the past to address these issues, but now, more than ever before, you know just how important it is to get everything documented. Well, don't worry, because we can get you taken care of right from the comfort of your own home. Welcome to the revolutionary My Life Card Plan estate plan processing platform, home of the last estate plan you'll ever need. We are very pleased you are here, and rest assured, we can offer you a complete estate planning experience regardless of where in the 50 states you may live. Our unique transformational system combines efficiency, convenience, and professional support at levels you never thought possible for setting up your estate plan. Moreover, we will provide you with powerful, user-friendly dynamics that put you in total control of your plan throughout your lifetime. Call us today at 888-316-6040 or go to www.csifinancialgroup.com, and our team of specialists will be there to assist you every step of the way.
What's up, Enrichers? Tim James here with my co-host Carter Wilcoxon. In the house, we've got Ayinde Holliman, advisor partner with CSI Financial. And before the last break, I alluded to, I wanted to get your opinion with like what it's been like working with CSI Financial and what you've experienced in the rollout with Epic Services Company. But the reality is that Epic Services Company is so new, you don't have a lot of experience with that. So why don't we just talk about your experience with CSI Financial, what that's done for your business as a planner, helping people, what it's done for your clients as well. And then we can, Carter can allude to what Epic Services is, and you guys can chat about that a little bit.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, with CSI Financial, what I loved about your program here is that it really just funnels, the whole process, and I don't mean just a process for how customers engage with us, but process even how your advisor partners engage with you, where it doesn't bombard me with tons of information where I have to just look at all this stuff before I even get going with clients here, or I just have to completely learn a whole different system. But it really kind of just opens up a door little by little, so that way it's not overwhelming. And it really just, for me, it's helped me to just fine tune what I'm focusing on. Before, I'm licensed for life, health, annuities, long-term care, Medicare, all these different things I can do. But at the end of the day, it's hard to market that if you're a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And you end up finding yourself trying to do everything, but end up getting nowhere if you just try to do it all, because there's much bigger players in the room with you when it comes to that. So with this, with CSI Financial and dealing with the holistic approach and as well as with estate planning, I really just have fine-tuned down to exactly where I want to go with the client and the group I need to market to. And then I can just build out from there after you properly qualify them and do your proper needs analysis. So I really just have to say kudos to you, Carter, here for building, this company. And I appreciate, what you've done so far, and I'm excited really to see what comes on, next, because I really even haven't even checked in on the Epic, part of it yet. So I'm actually just like, oh, here's something else going on new. I like it.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, really, the main purpose for Epic Services Company was to create an environment where advisors can bring their clients to. So there's a lot of similarities in what we do with CSI as far as what we call the outsourced estate planning team. And Epic Services Company, it was really designed for scaling that out and making access for more advisors, specifically that focuses on the estate and legacy planning aspects of a client's life, right? How do we answer the question for them? How do you want to be remembered, right? Which is what we're doing already with CSI. We've just expanded that a little bit more systematically on how we onboard clients. And I'll definitely share with you more specifically about how that works. But epicservicescompany.com, you can be able to go there and check that out. But that's the system that we're using when we take your clients that we're working on the estate planning aspect of it. That's the enhancements on what CSI Financial Group was doing, but specifically for the estate and legacy planning aspects of it. Obviously, CSI Financial Group is the financial aspect of it for you that you've already taken advantage of, right? We've helped build out your website on bringing the appearance to help you convey the message to your prospects and clients that you have a team of specialists. Epic Services Company is just an enhancement to what that really is and the process that we will be taking your clients through. So that is what Epic Services Company was really designed to do. And sharing with you today, it's interesting. I just haven't had a chance to get back to you on what that is really about. But that's going to help you expand even more and really elevate that client experience on a much bigger scale, more so than just what we're doing on the financial side of things with CSI Financial Group.
All right. This sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah, for sure. But, as you know, we are laser focused on client acquisition for advisors. So, let's talk a little bit about, the advisor partner, starter kit, marketing kit that we developed that, I think you recognize. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think you recognized it was something of necessity for you as you're expanding your reach and trying to bring in more clients to what it is that you try to do on the financial side of things, leading with estate planning as a foundational approach to deliver what we call the 3 E's. You educate, enlighten, and empower them to get this work done through our team. So if you don't mind, share with the enrichers on what you saw was an opportunity for you to tap into this ecosystem.
It's exactly that, an ecosystem. It really was a whole network, of tools and resources you have, that makes it easy for me to convey the message I need to convey. So that's the biggest thing that I saw with it, was the fact that, hey, I was going to be able to literally have a great looking website, have a follow-up program, lead developed system, marketing when it comes to email marketing, as well as video marketing and with Facebook engagement and with social media, all encompassed into one tool where I didn't have to constantly leave the ecosystem, to accomplish, so I was able to properly grow, this baby of mine that I'm trying to do now. So it's really just helped just for me personally, to also better, edify what I do as well. Like we have on there with video press and some of your videos, some things with like the Warren Buffett,
Yeah.
and some other people here that are just talking about different products and services we have to offer. And me just reposting these things have had a much bigger engagement than a lot of these other things that I've curated and completely, created out of thin air, just because by even seeing, something that's already been tried, and also with people who already have some clout and wherever you're trying to accomplish, makes it much easier versus you trying to completely reinvent the wheel for yourself.
Yeah. So is it fair to say that, and you've been in the financial services business, obviously sell for a long time, but financial services business, how long has that been in total?
I got my insurance license in 2007, but actively, and I did it on this part-time for a while when I was in the car business, but full-time about 4 years.
Okay.
Now. But within the time, as even dealing with in the car business, and when I was a finance manager, I did different insurance products as well. So I've been used to the process of helping people and selling insurance and selling and knowing how to properly engage with people that are having tough conversations about their finances and wealth.
So is it fair to say that in the amount of time that you've been insurance licensed, that you've had companies like CSI Financial Group reach out to you to try to convince you to do business with them, and there wasn't a lot of new things under the sun, so to speak, right? So, and again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but the enrichers want to know, why was it that you decided to align yourself with what we're doing here at CSI Financial Group?
You're absolutely right. And I appreciate you asking that question, because it was once you get started and you put yourself in a particular position of what you're accomplishing, you'll find people to start just throwing things at you all the time, and it's hard for you to really find out what is real, what is fake, and I think I found out about you here about one of your reps here, a guy named Jeff, and he constantly had followed up with me for about a year or two, and I was like, okay, let me just see what it is, and when I finally got a chance to completely look at what you guys were doing, I was like, man, this is impressive. It's really the kind of program I need to get with, and I can tell that when it comes to you engaging and finding the right clients, that is really not about me trying to find 1,000 people a month I have to help out, but just find a few right people that I need to help out. Because if I can set myself apart, with CSI Financial, dealing with estate planning and dealing with holistic, financial planning process, it's going to just set me apart from everyone else that just talks about, hey, one day you're going to die, and you don't have things all put together, but more looking at the hope versus the fear is the part that really stuck out to me.
Well, that's awesome. And a lot of people can go to currently right now, right? We've got your website fully operational, ready to go, right? Do you want to share what that website is? And of course, during this podcast, and Richards, you'll be able to see in the show notes and everything, Ayende's website. But do you want to go ahead and share what your website is with everybody?
Yes, it is HollimanFinancialSolutions.com. And also have a personal website as well for AyendeHolliman.com as well, where I then link back over to that website too, where it talks more about myself.
Yeah, perfect. And when they go to your website, they'll be able to find out not only about you, but obviously see your team. They'll get a chance to they could go to your events page on your website, right? And they can They can literally watch at no cost to them an estate planning on demand, I think, as we call it, right? Educational event, right? On information that we know people are starving to find out about. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. On the website, you can access our webinar here, where I'm sitting down with Lisa, and she then explains what estate planning is, what it's going to do for you and your family, and how it's going to help set you apart from what your legacy would have been if you wouldn't have done anything to what it could be with CSI Financial and our team.
That's awesome. So obviously, you graduated, college when? What year was that?
What, 2009?
2009. All right. So 2009, you graduated college. Now, so you're a fairly young guy, and fairly young, I guess, if you will, in the financial services business, but you recognize why estate planning it can be a differentiator versus a lot of those maybe even older advisors that are out there working with clientele. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, and I'll tell you a quick story of how I personally dealt with this. So about I think it was 2 years ago. I got it right before the pandemic, 2019. My grandmother passed away, and she left my family, some money that she had, and she had a life insurance policy. She was paying an exorbitant amount of money for it. It was somewhere close to $1,500 a month to keep this policy. She was getting close to 80 at that point in time, but it was a pretty decent sized policy. And she had, 6 heirs, that she, spread out to. However, she didn't still put a will and estate plan together. So before she passed away, she was in the hospital in a coma for a couple of days. And coming out of that, there was a doctor's bill for $120,000 after 3 days in the hospital. And by her not having that will in place, even though she had all that money set aside, after her Medicaid and other things took care of it, it still left a hole about $24,000 or $25,000 that us heirs then had to then pay out of any proceeds that she gave us. So we all had to write a $4,000+ check, back to just to take care of her medical bills, because the fact that she didn't have her will probably put in place, they could have took her home.
Wow.
so they could have or forced a sale on her home.
Yeah.
Even though people were living there, so not having that plan makes a big difference. Of what happens and the stress that happens. I mean, it took over about a year to get everything completely transferred into the proper people's names when it comes to her assets. But I can just imagine, the fact that she spent, so much already sacrificing to making sure she had this put in place. Now, if we just would have had that extra part of it here, so, a proper trust or a proper, procedure for how she wants things done, could eliminate a lot of that, that undue stress, that we experienced. Very grateful for what she sacrificed, because I know most do not get that, but it's still, you still end up wasting, some of what you put aside for your family when you do not have these things put aside.
Yeah. So you probably recognized early on, whenever we started talking about this, simply because you had that experience, that really what we're doing, and this is the enhancement of Epic Services Company, is we're making accessible what really has not been accessible to the working class men and women of America, right? The people who built this country, so to speak, right? And then what ends up happening is, because estate planning so very often is associated with, multimillionaires and billionaires, the working class amongst us, everybody on this podcast, and a lot of them that are listening, they don't have the type of access that we make accessible. And so I think that that was probably, and I didn't know that story before, by the way, Ayinde, and thank you for sharing. That probably was what attracted you to our process in the first place, because we are becoming accessible and an extension of your team to help all the families out there that need this necessary planning solutions.
Yes, thank you. I don't always share the darker parts of what happens in the past, but at the end of the day, I'm grateful for it, because it's really helped me turn to the person I am today. But I'm grateful for every one of those experiences. But what I've really appreciated about CSI Financial, what you do, is about you also having the complete team behind you, and behind me, really, as I put myself out there to show, hey, not only is it just Ayinde, but it's a whole bunch of people behind that can also support when it comes to your not just your estate planning, but your tax planning. An attorney if you need to talk to. There's people that can help you with a myriad of issues, and tasks that you might need to check off your list to feel, properly safe and taken care of. And CSI puts all those people together. Other than that, it's like going to Walmart thinking that you're going to just buy, some milk at other places here, and then you end up with, a TV and everything else, but not exactly what you were looking for. But see, like, you really just help fine tune down to exactly what you were looking for, and makes it easy for people to eliminate a lot of that undue stress and confusion when it comes to their financial planning.
Well, we got to take a break, guys. But, I think what you alluded to there is that for those of you that are like one-man bands or one-woman bands out there, that solo entrepreneur, financial advisor, insurance agent, imagine having a whole team of people to support you, and you don't have to do payroll or any of that stuff, right? It's just, it's simple. Or maybe you have a 13-person team, right? Or even what would it be like to double in your team, but again, without having to double your payroll and all that stuff, and fine tuning things that your team's not good at, right? You have your sweet spot, your team has their sweet spot, but there's a lot of stuff that financial advisors, whether they're brand new into the game or they're a seasoned pro, that, in fact, when I was coaching as a mortgage professional, the core coaching company, they didn't want the newbies. They only wanted the seasoned professionals of real estate and mortgage. And the reason why is that the owner told me, he said, it's hard to get somebody brand new and help them get good, but it's easy to take somebody good and make them great, because they only need a few tweaks. And I think what's cool is that if in the financial planning realm, Carter's actually cracked both the codes. He can take somebody that's, a hardworking individual that's new and has a turnkey process to make them real good fast, right? That lead generation. But if they already have an existing business, good to great's also easy. So we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get into Ayinde's question when he starts throwing some questions at me about health. We'll be right back.
You want the absolute best for yourself, and you want it to be easy. That's why we created Green 85. It helps with detoxifying the body gently. We're proud it's chemical-free, unlike almost all other supplements you'll find. Bottom line, Green 85 will get you healthier. We look forward to hearing what Green 85 did for you.
To get this product and our other amazing products, go to chemicalfreebody.com. That's chemicalfreebody.com.
What's up, Enrichers? Tim James here. I'm back with my co-host Carter Wilcox, and in the house, Ayinde Holliman, advisor partner to CSI Financial Group. And what that means is he's an advisor that decided to partner. He doesn't work for CSI. He decided to hire CSI Financial to help him boost his business and his practice. And it sounds like that's been very, very profitable and helped you speed up your acceleration of growing your practice and helping your clients. So that's cool. But now we get to flip the script. Now it's time for health. So any question regarding health, doesn't matter. What do you got?
Well, I wanted to find out when it comes to almost some chiropractic issues. I'm going to try to find out. I've been for a while having a issue with my shoulder. Maybe we went to Disney a couple months ago, and I was carrying this backpack, the whole time, and 100-degree temperature, and I had this gnawing pain, and that's been catching right here on my scapula here, and it runs down there from my shoulder down to my back, and to my elbow, and but that pain is making it difficult to sleep, and even how I sit, and I've been messing with my shoulders the whole time I've been talking to you guys, but I don't want it to get worse, and so I'm like, I need to go either see a chiropractor, pretty soon, or also like to go talk to someone like you. I guess it might give me some advice about some things I can do to help you.
Well, we'll help you out the best we can, brother. So, first off, before we get to the root of the issue, we're going to talk about, because I see like two roots here, like maybe even three. But number one, when you have pain like that, that means you've got inflammation. Okay, so it's a byproduct of whatever you're doing. Maybe it was repetitive motion. Maybe there was a past injury there. It just got to a point where it started bugging you. It's kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe it's something recent that you did. Maybe you've been sleeping on it wrong, whatever, right? So the first thing, just out of the gate, is like you want to reduce inflammation. And the first thing is drinking copious amounts of purified water, making sure that water is restructured. How much water do you drink?
I probably drink a gallon and a half a day. I have a big old thing.
Where does it come? Did they deliver it to you in a plastic jug?
No, I have a purifier. I think I actually have two purifiers. I have one that comes to the house, and I have another one in the bottom of my fridge. Okay,
cool. So, just a real small point here is like, do you remember on the last podcast, Carter, where the guy was talking about making sure your water is warm when you drink it?
Yeah.
So what happens is if you drink in water that's really cold, it has to get up to 98.6 in order for it to be absorbed, right? When you drink cold water, you're actually shutting down your digestive system. So that'd be number one. Number one, you got to make sure your water is purified, but at the same time, if that water is run through a tap, whether you did it or if it, and then you ran it through a purifier, or if you get it from somewhere else, if it came from a city tap water where they ran it through a system, then bottled it for you and brought it to you, that water really needs to be restructured. Otherwise, you're just going to drink a lot and pee a lot out. It's not the high pressure pipes make it too big, and you just can't get it through the intestinal walls. It's like bowling balls trying to go through a chain link fence. They just don't, right? They're too big. So you got to make those water molecules tiny again so they can get in there. That's going to be helpful. Number two, we have a product. This product right here is called Turmeric 100. This is 185 times more anti-inflammatory than most of the turmeric products out there because it's been micronized. So that's going to go in and not only help you with your back, but cellular inflammation big time. Now, I believe in chiropractic care. I think that, having your spine aligned is very important because when you have misalignments, then you have like your spine will pinch on a nerve, right? And then you're going to reduce function, right? So it could be you're going to reduce your organ systems, or you're going to have, and then you have pain. You have pain there, right? So chiropractic could be good, but I would also recommend that you look into something called Rolfing, right? Rolfing. So there's this gal named Ida Rolf, and she developed this technique where they go in and they really work out the fascia, which is it's the largest organ in the body. It's actually, there's more fascia in your body than skin. So you want to get in there because a lot of times, depending on the chiropractor, they can move you back into place. But if you have like these tight ligaments and fascia, and they, and they adjust you, and then the tight ligaments and fascia just pull it right back out of place, right? So you probably have a binding. You look like you exercise a lot. You work out.
Not as much as I used to, but I do. I stay pretty active. I do.
Okay, you stay pretty active. Okay, so you're active, which you should be. The whole idea is we want to be active until we decide to take our last breath, right? So these Rolfers can really get in there, and then they can move stuff around. You can also get one of these. Well, they're these little guns. You see those guns that, right? You can get one of those. They're I think mine's called Hypervolt. It was actually a client gave it to me. those can be good. You can, you can kind of get in there and do it, or your wife can help you. But massage, really getting in there. But I think that if you really focus on just reducing the inflammation and then getting a good Rolfer and a chiropractor combo, that should help you out tremendously. Now, the other thing that we have to look at now is your bed. How old is your bed? What's the quality? Because, your sleep is one of the most important things that you can have in your life. It's a driving engine to all health, just like your digestive tract. So, a lot of people, they don't want to spend the money. They don't want to think about it. They don't even think about it. But it's really important that you're sleeping on a really good, high quality mattress. That is critical. So how old's your mattress?
Oh, it's probably about 2 or 3 years old, maybe.
Okay, so it's 2, 3 years old. Does it? What kind? Is it a good one? What kind is it?
It's pretty good. I forgot what it is, but it's memory foam and stuff like that. But I just I don't know. I've had bad sleeping habits for a while. I'm a snorer and stuff like that. So I move.
Do you have sleep apnea? Has anybody ever recommend you have to get on one of those CPAP deals?
No. My wife, she literally had me go to a doctor and check it out. I do not have sleep apnea. I did the test twice now.
And you don't have any like blockages in there, like mechanical blockages in the nose, the pathways?
I don't know that. That's one thing that's the next thing I'm gonna look at just as well.
Yeah, sometimes people have to get a minor surgery and they can open it up. I've had plenty of friends like some of it's just closed off and they snore. The other thing is you just might not be sleeping well. You got to be careful of those memory foam.
I don't think it's my nose. I think it's my throat.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have them check it out. But I want to talk about.
They said it's my throat. I cut down my pathway.
Okay. I want to think about your mattress. For number one, when you say memory foam, the first thing for me is like, as I freak out because you have to, a lot of these memory foams are off-gassing toxins 24/7, and you're sitting there, you're sleeping in it. And we take about 20,000 breaths a day, and we're taking a lot of breaths when we're sleeping. And you're not going to, think about it. If you're breathing in toxins all night versus clean air outside when you're camping, who's going to sleep better? Who's going to live longer? Right. So it's really important that mattress is it's an expensive purchase, but it is a foundation to your health. The other thing is a lot of these memory foams aren't really that great for the spine. They just aren't. The bed I have is an organics, and with an X, organics bed. It's the best one that I found, and it was about $7,000 cheaper than the one company that I was about ready to pull the trigger on, and then I ran into these guys last minute just because I do a lot of podcasting, and this gal, she's like, "Oh my God, this bed's amazing." And I said, "Oh, perfect timing." And I'm like, I thank her every day. I'm like, "Thank you so much." Like, I saved $7,000 and the bed's even much superior. So that's why there's like 3,000 or 4,000 chiropractors that support this bed, because it has, it has spinal support. It's not just about being chemical free. Like having an organic chemical free mattress, that's great. And a lot of people want that. They don't want the toxins because they realize that, because some people are really sensitive to this stuff, and as soon as they get off that, they get better. But it's harming all of us at some level when we're breathing in toxins. But a bed needs to do more than just be organic. It has to support the spine. It has to. So other things you can do to sleep better is, go pee before you go to bed. Stop drinking liquids an hour, maybe even 2 or 3 hours, depending on whatever works. You got to kind of work that out. Crack your window at night so you got fresh air. Try not to eat. After 6 p.m. is great. And that'll help you sleep better, because if you're digesting food, you can't get into deep sleep. I also don't even use a pillow anymore, man. I got rid of my pillow. I put my pillow under my legs, and that's better for my neck and my spine. So you might want to try that. You said you're having creaks in your neck, right? Try putting the pillow under the knees in the meantime until you can look into getting yourself one of these good mattresses. Even after you get the mattress, I would still recommend you put the pillow under the knees, especially for if you have neck issues. I actually had the same problem, and by putting the pillow under my knees, it fixed my neck issue.
Okay, good. I had one of those contouring pillows that's made for your leg.
Yeah. So the only time you'll need a pillow is if you sleep on your side. But the goal we want you to do is we want you to sleep on your back. It's better for your organ systems, and it helps you get into a deeper sleep. So you can still have a pillow there for sleeping on your side, but if you can get on your back, and then, sometimes there's a week to 2 weeks of you just have to do it. Like you have to force yourself, and you might not get as good a sleep for, 7 to 10 days. But if you can get used to it and get back to sleeping on your back long term, that's going to be way better for you. So there's quite a few things that I gave you there. You can go back through and listen to the podcast, write them all out, and then just start checking them off as you go. And hopefully that should give you plenty. And I would imagine you can get rid of the creak, you get on a good maintenance dose, and that should help you out.
I got the organics bed, the Rolfing, and the something else in particular you mentioned.
Well, drinking water. We have this product, Turmeric 100 is a good one. Yeah.
Drinking,
and then
properly purified.
Yeah, and then let me look it up. It's if you go to my podcast, The Health Hero Show, organics bed. Let me just look it up and see if it popped up. Organics bed. See if it popped up.
I pulled it up when you were talking. I saw it.
Yeah, go to here it is, Health Hero Show. I found it. Just go to the Health Hero Show, and then you got to look it up. I'm trying to find it, and I just typed in the wrong thing. Organics. Anyway, just look up the episode. You have to look up the number, but it's with Jason Payne. That's what it's with. Jason Payne, Health Hero Show, and there's an episode that goes deep into the bed, and he explains it way better than I do. I mean, he started the company. It's amazing. Like I have the bed now, and it's like everybody that comes over, I'm like, hey, I had one guy, our podcast producer, Carter, Justin.
Okay.
He came over and he just sat down. I didn't say anything to him because I was busy. And I turned around. He's like, dude, what the hell? He's like, what kind of bed is this? And I said, yeah, lay down on it. He's like, oh my God, I got to get one of these things. Right. And one of the reasons why is not only does it support the spine, it's chemical free, but it's got this gel matrix layer deal. It's the same shit they use in the hospitals. Like when you have a person who's got a burn victim or they're paraplegic and they can't move, those pressure points can cause major problems for these people. It's bed sores, right?
Yep.
So this gel matrix was developed by this company, and they sell it to hospitals. $14,000. They sell a little 2-inch gel matrix pad just to throw on the hospital bed. The whole bed's lined with this stuff, and that's just part of the tech, part of the stack. And it's amazing. So when you lay on it, it completely supports it. It's ridiculous. There's no pressure points. It's awesome. Like the worst part of this bed is you don't want to leave and take vacations anymore. Like literally. So anyway, brother, I hope that helps you out a lot.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm gonna get right on it. I like that a lot.
Oh, that is good. And by the way, I always learn something new every time we have a guest on, which is why we started the Health and Wealth podcast. Just because I wanted to be able to learn something new, and whenever Tim and I first started having the conversation about us doing a podcast together, I thought, man, this is gonna be great because my advisors, my clients, if you will, get to come on and learn something new. But when you ask a question, I get to learn something new every single time whenever you come on. So we just did a update podcast that we recorded over the weekend, right, Tim? And we talked about, all the different successes about our podcast. But one of the things that we chatted about, why advisors want to come on here, is one of the things that I know you want to do for all of my advisor partners on bringing value every chance we get on the offer for them to be, do a coaching deal. Do you want to talk a little bit about that for Ayende's clients? Yeah,
Ayinde. So one thing that it'll be all in an email format and stuff. It's going to be part of a value add that you're going to get from CSI Financial Group, which is me. So what you can do is Carter will help you generate the letter. You can send it out to your group, and then you and I will coordinate a time. We'll just schedule a time, and then we'll do an hour-long talk or with a Q&A, however format we end up doing it. And we've done a couple of these, and then you just basically invite all your clients. And if you have 100 clients or 1,000 clients, it doesn't matter. Whoever shows up. We do the show. We give them value because it's not just about making money. It's about being able to enjoy that money, right? Money is not the only form of abundance on this planet, although for some reason humans seem to think it is. And the problem is when you make money the only form of abundance, you're locking and closing off all the other doors in which abundance can come to you. And one of them is your freaking health. It is sub-basement for sure than money. You can ask anybody that's got, about $5-10 million or $100 million and they got cancer. Would they trade that $5 million for a healthy body? And the question, they would do it in a heartbeat, because you can't spend the money, you can't enjoy it, you can't do anything good with it when you're in the bed with cancer. You got, if you got arthritis, you can't move, right? So what we'll do is we can do a free deal. I'll invest in you and your platform and get in front of your clients and help them. We can come up with a topic and how to stay healthy and wealthy, and then afterwards you can take that and then repurpose it. You can put it on your website, and then that will help differentiate you even more with your clients. So you can help the ones that are live. You can, and then you can send it out afterwards. Hey, if you missed the broadcast, you guys watch this. This is really great, and we really want to help people. We want to help everybody. So anyway, that should be a really nice thing that you can do, and we're happy to if you want to take us up on it.
I'll be happy to. I appreciate that. I think it's becoming increasingly important for people with their health to be a major a factor to what they're trying to accomplish. Because I know a lot of people here that chase the dollar, but have trouble breathing. Have trouble with so many other things that we take for granted. And it becomes a huge drain on their quality of life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at, you're a pretty young, healthy man, and here you are, your back hurts, and you don't notice that stuff until your back hurts, and then it's affecting your sleep. And that's just you don't think about it because we're guys, we just keep going through our day, I did this for years. I was bleeding rectally for 2.5 years every time I pooped. That's why my shirt says "Love When You Poop," because I didn't love it. It was painful and it was scary, and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was able to remedy that and heal myself. So, you don't notice that stuff until you got it. And then again, once you remedy it, which is what we want to help people do, don't forget, you got to maintain that lifestyle. So, all right. Well, Carter, take us out of here, brother.
Yeah. Awesome. So Ayinde, I really appreciate your willingness again to come on, share your story. Amazing, backstory as I knew that it would be. I don't know all of these things. It gives me the opportunity as the co-host of the Health and Wealth Podcast Show to really learn more about you, as well as have your potential clients or prospects learn more about you as well. So for our guest today, Mr. Ayinde Holliman of Holliman Financial Solutions, you can check him out on his website. It'll be in the show notes and everything. And my co-host, Mr. Chemical Free Body himself, Mr. Tim James, out there in Portland, Oregon. I am the CEO and founder of CSI Financial Group. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And for all of the previous podcasts on the Health and Wealth Podcast Show, you can go to our website, thehealthandwealthpodcastshow.com. You can like, share, and subscribe on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. So thank you very much for joining us again, Enrichers, for another episode of the Health and Wealth Podcast. Until next time, live a life of abundance, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much, everybody. Hey, Enrichers. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Health and Wealth Podcast. I'm your host, Carter Wilcoxon.
And I'm your host, Tim James. And by God, we are committed to helping you guys have fat wallets, flat bellies. So tune in again for another episode, and make sure to like, share, and drink a lot of water.
Or beer.
You have just listened to the Health and Wealth Podcast with Carter and Tim.